Hello everyone, this is Storydive, and I recently saw Ari Aster's second film after Hereditary, Midsommar. I definitely thought it was an intriguing, engaging, visually stunning film. I understand some people will disagree with me on that because it was slow, and also I felt like some of the characters and their relationships were a little bit thin, at least compared to Hereditary. If I'm honest, I didn't like it as much as Hereditary, but I thought it was a great, or at least very good film, and something horror fans should definitely check out. Like Hereditary, Ari Aster added a lot of details, Easter eggs, and obscure references that are a lot of fun for people like me because it allows us to dive into the film, analyze it, and reanalyze it upon multiple viewings. In fact, there are so many little details and references that I won't be able to cover them all in this video, and instead I will focus on the ending, its meaning, and what I believe the overall meaning of the film is. But if you haven't seen the film, just a warning, there will be spoilers in this video from this point on. And by the way, I'm sorry for all the Swedish I'm about to mispronounce.
You can't speak, right?
Many of the rituals and beliefs portrayed in Midsommar are based on actual rituals practiced by ancient Norse or Germanic cultures. For example, at the stupa, the ritual practice of citizens jumping to their death once they reach elderly age is possibly an actual practice that is referred to in the Icelandic sagas.
I'm just going to skip the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna jump either.
Other elements like using runestone to cast spells, as the character Maya does in the film, and the very gruesome method of execution that befalls Simon, the Blood Eagle, was actually performed by ancient Norse society. These and many other references are based on either historic truth or legend, however, the community and their religion is definitely a fiction. One reference that occurs near the climax of the film, I believe, has special significance regarding the film's ending and the character Dani's journey. This being the maypole dance. The true Swedish midsummer holiday does include dances around the maypole, for example, Små Grodornat, the frog dance, and these are all good fun. However, the variation portrayed in the film is essentially a dance-a-thon elimination challenge, designed to crown the May Queen for her stamina. Before the dance, one of the village elders says that long ago, the Black One seduced the youth of Harga to dance until they died, and now they dance in defiance of the Black One. I believe this is a reference to St. John's dance, or dancing mania, a phenomenon that occurred a number of times in medieval Europe, mainly France and Germany. Some now theorize this phenomenon was the result of ergot poisoning, or St. Anthony's fire, a psychoactive fungus that grows on wheat and would have been ingested through rye bread. This may even be the psychedelic compound that is given to Dani in tea before the dancing scene.
It has special properties.
Dancing mania was often thought to be caused by possession by the devil, but is sometimes called St. John's dance because it was also thought to be a curse caused by St. John the Baptist. St. John's Eve is a feast and celebration that occurs throughout Europe on June 23rd, near the summer solstice. There are also several similarities and adaptations between St. John's Eve or St. John's Day and the Swedish Midsummer Festival. This is why the character Igmar wishes the travelers a happy St. John's early in the film. Participants in St. John's Eve will dance around a bonfire, supposedly for the purpose of warding off evil spirits and witches, and specifically a congregation or Sabbath of witches that occurs at the peak of Brocken Mountain in northern Germany. As the witches dance around their master, the devil, in order to gain his favor, those who participate in St. John's Eve are thought to dance in defiance of him and the evil spirits conjured on this dark night. When the elder says they dance in defiance of the Black One, she is likely referring to a demon-like figure. Because they are a pagan community that worships the Old Norse or Germanic gods, the Black One may be Surtur, the fire demon who will end the world at Ragnarok, and whose name translates as the Black or the Swarthy One.
You have seen Ragnarok, the fall of Asgard, the great prophecy.
Hang on. I'll be back around shortly.
Most likely Aster is mixing and matching, blending true references or mythology into a fictional soup. And in this soup, I believe the Black One simply represents evil, sin, and in the case of Dani, emptiness and distance. Early in the film, Dani's sister Terry sends her an email that states, "I can't anymore, everything's black," just before Terry takes her own and her parents' life. In this case, black seems to represent the emptiness, distance, and hopelessness brought on by Terry's bipolar disorder. Later, we see Dani taking Ativan, which implies that, like her sister, she also suffers from mental illness, likely some form of anxiety and depression. You might say in their family, mental illness is hereditary. Perhaps Dani should get off the Ativan and start taking St. John's wort, a flower seen throughout the Harga village that is now used as a cure for depression. Dani's mental illness seems to manifest in severe anxiety when she is confronted by the thought of abandonment. Throughout the film, Dani and her boyfriend Christian become more and more distant in their relationship, and sometimes this is even represented visually, as in the feast scene near the conclusion when Christian sits extremely far from Dani at the table. Yet, through most of the film, Dani clings to Christian out of her anxiety and fear of abandonment. During Dani's dream sequence, this fear is played out literally, as she witnesses Christian and the others driving away from her, and as she tries to scream, from inside her comes the blackness, represented by the car exhaust that killed her sister and parents. Dani's anxiety is linked with Christian, but her fear binds her to him and the distance he represents. This begins to change as Dani becomes closer and closer to the Hargans. The Hargans are an extremely close community, so close in fact they experience each other's joy, pain, even sex, together as one unified community. This is supported by several scenes in the film during which one member of the community will experience pain or something else, and the others will join in with the experience, imitating them in a dance-like ritual. Even when Christian and Maya have sex, the surrounding women imitate their emotions and in a sense have sex along with them. They all experience it as one. When Dani sees Christian having sex with Maya, other women in the community imitate her cries, experiencing the grief with her and absorbing it. In other words, the Hargans are the exact opposite of the emptiness and distance that Dani fears. They represent wholeness, unity, and closeness that is the antidote to the black emptiness inside Dani. This is why, during the conclusion of the film, Dani knows she cannot leave the community, and why she must choose Christian as the ninth sacrifice. The constant references to number 9 throughout the film, the 90 years between festivals, 9 days of the festival, 9 sacrifices, etc., are a reference to the important numerology of the number 9 in Norse mythology, the 9 Norse worlds, the last 9 steps of Thor before his death, and the 9 days and 9 nights during which Odin hung himself from Yggdrasil, the world tree. Christian must become the 9th sacrifice in order to complete Dani's transformation, her journey. This is also symbolized by the R or ride rune adorned on Dani's festival dress. Next to this is the Dagaz or day rune, which symbolizes a rebirth, a reawakening in a new dawn. During the final sacrifice, Christian is fitted with a bearskin, and a village elder states, "Mighty and dreadful beast, with you we purge our most unholy affects. We banish you now to the deepest recesses, where you may reflect on your wickedness." Thus Christian becomes an embodiment of the Black One that Dani danced in defiance of earlier. As the bear totem, Christian embodies Dani's anxiety and fear of abandonment.
What is it? What's wrong, sister?
When Christian is burned along with the other sacrifices, Dani is purged of the blackness inside her, and is finally unified with the Hargans, her new family. She is finally happy, complete, and so in the final shot, she smiles. Some theorize that mental illness, like depression and anxiety, is caused by modernity, the distance and emptiness of modern life. Perhaps because Dani unifies with this tribal society, she finally cures herself of the darkness within her. She's not insane, she is simply reawakened to a new truth.
You're gonna love it.
At least, that's how I interpret the ending of Midsommar, why Dani chose Christian as the 9th sacrifice, and why she stayed with the Hargans. But I would love to know what you think. How did you interpret the ending of Midsommar? And what did you think of Midsommar in general? Aster's previous film, Hereditary, was very divisive. It seemed like people either liked it or hated it, so I'm curious to know how people feel about this one. Also, did you notice any cool Easter eggs or references that you'd like to share in the comments? As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of detail in this movie, and unfortunately right now I don't have time to go over it all, because it would take around a week to do and be like a 30-minute video. But if this video does well and people like it, I can do another video about Midsommar in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. To my already subscribers, I'm sorry for not posting many videos lately. I've actually been traveling throughout Japan and Europe for the last month, but eventually when I get back to Canada, where I'm from, I will get back on a more regular video posting schedule. So please stick with me. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.